What I'm gonna do is wanted to share something I put together because I learned something today. Okay, so make sure this is low enough. All right, do that. Hello, how you doing? I recently had an experience. Hold on, I don't really feel I'm doing okay. Taking it easy, preparing for the future, building. It don't stop against all odds. Whether the odds of people, whether the odds of life or death. Am I okay? Why would you ask that? I'm here. Baby, you feel what I'm saying? Here. And I have some that I want to share that I think could be very beneficial. And it's based on the experience that I had today. All right, so I want to call this They Say They Want a Good Man, but would they recognize one? That's what I call this. They say they want a good man, but would they recognize one? Thank you. All right, so tonight I'm not here to attack women. I know I'll say that at the beginning, but it will be disregarded. But it's true. Most people, when you address something that they are uncomfortable about or that they may be doing or not doing that they don't want to look at or see, they will feel attacked. Truth about a particular person makes that particular person feel defensive. Truth is not an attack. It is a confrontation, though, and many people don't like confrontation. So I understand why it may be considered an attack to a person. It may feel that way, but it's not actually an attack. It is a confrontation, though. So tonight, I'm not here to attack women. I'm here to ask a question that I don't think enough people are asking. What if many people don't actually know what they're looking for? Imagine that. What if many people don't actually know what they're looking for? Because I've heard it for years. I just want a good man. I want somebody honest. I want somebody who communicates. I want somebody emotionally available. But then I watch what happens when one shows up. Not every time, not every woman, but enough times that it became impossible for me to ignore. I've reached the point where I had to stop asking what's wrong with me and start asking, is this dating culture rewarding the opposite of what people say they want? That's a different question. And it's one worth exploring. Part one, the emotional interview. I've noticed something strange. Many first conversations don't feel like two strangers getting to know one another. Bring you over. I gotta bring you over for this one. I gotta bring you over for this one. All right. So, many first conversations don't feel like two strangers getting to know one another. They feel like unpaid therapy sessions. Within 20 or 30 minutes, we're discussing childhood trauma. Many times, not even. It doesn't even take that long. They feel like unpaid therapy sessions. Past relationships, parents, ex husbands, mental health, trust issues, abandonment, betrayal. Everything except who are you? What excites you? What makes you laugh? What kind of life do you want to build? Everything but those things. Sometimes I leave the conversation knowing every painful chapter of someone's life, and they know almost nothing about mine. After listening, after encouraging, after validating, after trying to understand, I wake up the next day unmatched, ghosted, no explanation, no conversation, nothing. And I started asking myself, was I looking for a relationship? Or was I volunteering as an emotional first responder? The double standard. Here's something I've struggled to understand. If I'm gentle, if I'm soft, if I'm thoughtful, I'm overthinking. If I'm emotionally open, I'm too emotional. If I'm reserved, I'm emotionally unavailable. If I listen, I'm weak. If I lead, I'm controlling. If I challenge, I'm toxic. If I agree, I'm boring. At what point does a man stop asking, what should I become? And begin asking, who am I becoming just to keep somebody interested? Because that's the real danger. Not rejection, self abandonment. The cost of wearing a mask. And I'm telling you, men wear masks more than women because we have to wear a mask for our women. Whereas many women, depending on how attractive they are or how much society considers them valuable, they can pretty much dictate how a man is going to be towards her. That's if she knew her power. A lot of women don't know their power, so a lot of women are gonna look at that like, you gotta be crazy, you gotta be insane. That's because you're not exerting the power you have, not because you don't have the power. But it's not meant, I don't think the power is meant, I know the power is not meant for you to make another man change to fit your needs or whatever the case may be. And the same thing goes for if there's certain men that have power, it's not for them to make a woman change who she is to fit his needs. The problem is not even that. The problem is that we are saying, where are the good men? Where are the good women? And we're lying to ourselves, pretending we don't see them because they don't have the things that we're looking for that we wish the toxic people had. We are looking for the toxic people that have good men and women traits. We're not looking for good men and women. Let me proceed. The cost of wearing a mask. I've been tempted. I've thought about changing the way I speak, talking less deeply, being more mysterious, pretending not to care, waiting longer to reply, playing games, acting emotionally unavailable, doing everything dating coaches tell me to do. Not because that's who I am, but because it seems to work. Then I realized something. If someone only likes the version of me that's pretending, then they're rejecting the real me before they ever meet him. And if I have to wear a mask to begin a relationship, who exactly is she dating? Certainly not me. Certainly not me. And I think that you will be surprised how many men have altered who they are, have suppressed who they are, have hidden who they are to be accepted by a woman, whether it's your mother, your aunt, your sister, your cousin, your girlfriend, or your wife, maybe even your daughter. followed me over, huh? Okay. Do we really want authenticity? People love authenticity until it costs them comfort. People celebrate vulnerability until it makes them uncomfortable. People say they want honesty until honesty doesn't flatter them. Authenticity has become a slogan, not always a lifestyle. The truth is, authentic people are difficult, not because they're cruel, because they're real. Real people disagree. Real people have unusual interests. Real people don't always fit the script. Real people can't be controlled through approval, and that's uncomfortable. Acceptance isn't the same as compatibility. Here's something I've had to learn: accepting someone isn't the same thing as being compatible with someone. A woman doesn't owe me a relationship because I listened. And I don't owe someone unlimited emotional labor because she had a difficult childhood. Compassion is beautiful. Codependency is exhausting. Some of us have confused the two. So, what is a good man? People throw that phrase around constantly: good man. But what does that actually mean? Is a good man merely agreeable? Is he someone who never challenges you? Someone who finances your life? Someone who says yes to everything? Or is he someone who tells the truth even when it's uncomfortable? Someone with integrity? Someone who keeps his word? Someone who treats people with dignity? Someone who has discipline when no one's watching? Someone who can love without losing himself? Those qualities aren't flashy. They don't create butterflies. They create stability. And stability is often mistaken for boredom. Why we choose familiar pain. Psychologists have written extensively about repetition patterns in relationships. People sometimes gravitate towards dynamics that feel emotionally familiar, even when those dynamics are unhealthy. Hold on. The stalkers follow me. So let me see. It won't stop me. I don't care how much you say. All right. But it may explain why someone repeatedly chooses partners who recreate old wounds instead of partners who offer something healthier. Sometimes chaos feels more recognizable than peace. Sometimes excitement disguises instability. Sometimes healing feels unfamiliar. What men need to hear. Men, stop auditioning. Stop proving your worth through endless emotional labor. Stop believing every rejection is evidence that you're broken. Someone not choosing you is not proof that you're unworthy. It may simply mean they were looking for someone different, and that's okay. Don't become someone you can't respect just because someone else refuses to recognize your value. What women might consider: if you say you want honesty, reward honesty. If you say you want kindness, don't confuse kindness with weakness. If you say you want emotional intelligence, don't punish men for expressing emotion. If you lose interest, have the courage to say so. Ghosting may be common, it isn't courageous. People deserve clarity more than confusion. Now, my decision. I've reached a crossroads. For a while, I thought I needed to become someone else. Then I realized the loneliness that comes from being authentic is painful. But the loneliness that comes from pretending to be someone else is permanent. If I never find another relationship, I'll survive. I've survived far worse. But if I ever do, it will be because someone met the real me, not a performance, not a strategy, not a mask. I'd rather be rejected for who I am than accepted for someone I had to invent. Because peace is worth more than approval. And self respect is a relationship you have to live with every day. Some of the references that I've taken from this talk is Carl Rogers, who said, "The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change." I think this is Brene Brown, Brene with a schwa above it, Brown. Vulnerability is not weakness, it's our greatest measure of courage. Viktor Frankl said, "What is to give light must endure burning." And Friedrich Nietzsche said, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe." So that's pretty much all I wanted to share right now. Yeah, it can be daunting, this dating thing, because you say, "Oh, I'm just going to go and be me," and you even put that on your dating profile. You put it there, and then they come and they talk to you, and the first thing they do is tell you all their pain and their childhood drama, and it's like you're sitting there thinking, how can I get them away from this so that we can talk about, like, hey, how you doing, who are you, what are you interested in, you want to get a bite to eat or something like that. Like, once they go into that history of their childhood, you just know they're not healed. I mean, if you're a 50-year-old woman and you just automatically start talking about what your mom and dad did to you when you were a child, But yet you're talking to a man that still indulges you, still tries to help you out, work through that, and tries to get away from that so you guys can talk about you again, both of you again. And then, no, he's, what are you just making? Well, hi. I'm not entirely sure that you're one of the people that were stalking me and following me over here from my old page. But hi, how you doing? Anyway, um, so yeah, what it is really just a burnout because at the end of the day, you extend yourself trying to see if that could work out, if you could work past that, and then at the end of the conversation, they're the one that ghosts you. It's like they feel like they have came to the determination, oh, we're no good for each other, when you had can't come to that determination long ago. But you're just kind and you're caring and you know that people have hardships and you know you had hardships. So you're trying to think to yourself, well, maybe this is for a reason. And it is. But it's not the reason that you thought. The reason is for you to understand that you still are not honoring your value. And this is what I learned. Once I heard that, the first conversation, the first minute, she started talking about her childhood, and she's 50 years old. We didn't even get a chance to talk about us. I should have said, I'm sorry, this is not going to work. You have a good life. But no, I stayed on the phone for an hour and a half talking to her. We even joked about it. Man, we've been on the phone for an hour and a half. And it was like, wow, there's some connection here. It felt that way. Just talking, so I said, okay, I'll follow you in this train. I started talking about my childhood trauma to make her know that I can relate to her. So hopefully she won't feel so bad. And then I talked about how I overcame that stuff to try to get her out of this. And then we could come back to talking about something else. The only time she came back out is when she wanted to find out how I was in. It's like I'm the man. I didn't even do it. But they complain. There's a lot of women complaining about people sending them pictures, sexual pictures, and things like this and stuff. But what I find is that before I even mention anything like that, somebody saying something like that to me, they're letting me know that this is how I see you. This is what I was looking at you as. I don't want to talk about nothing deep. And if you want to talk about something deep, I'm gonna take you somewhere crazy. It's just we're not talking about any emotional connection though. We're not talking about that. We'll talk about emotional pain. We'll talk about emotional trauma. We'll talk about how I'm hurt and what I haven't healed from, but we will not talk about us connecting or healthy emotional connection or if either one of us can truly still love right now or trust right now or and then after the hour and a half, which I didn't feel drained afterwards. I don't even think she felt drained afterwards. There was an exchange of energy, but I didn't get any validation at all. It was really just about her giving me something of her and then me trying to validate her or try to reassure her that there could be something, but there was nothing for me there. Nothing. And in the end, I still was like, well, maybe we could talk again sometime. Maybe there could be something. And I remember thinking, well, damn, let me go look at her pictures again. And I went on there and she unmatched. So I just said, I texted her and I said, after I texted her one time and said, have a good evening. I enjoyed the conversation and I chilled. Then I went and looked at the pictures. And then I came back and I said, I'm a little confused why we unmatched. If you are not interested, just let me know and I'll move on. That's what I texted her. And then I saw the little green dot fill in, said she read it. I had to wait about 10 minutes. And then finally, she said sorry with the emoji. And I don't think we're aligned or something. I'm just like, oh man, all right. I mean, I didn't care. It was just the fact of like, can we at least respect each other in this dating game? Like, it's cool to not like someone, but to do a cowardly thing like ghost them, just this is you're actually talking to a good person, like somebody who's not a bad person, but you just don't like them. You treat them just like you treat the piece of shit. Why? Why? And they're the one that's not aligned with you? No. Probably that person deserves better than you because they can ghost you. They wouldn't be afraid to tell you this is not working. They're not even afraid to try to see if it would. But you are afraid to try and afraid to let them know. But they're not aligned with you, who wants a good man, but doesn't even know one when you see. And of course, I'm not speaking to everybody. There are some that really want to know the truth and will look at this objectively and learn from it, and then go on to actually heal the parts that prevent them from finding a good man and actually receive one. Those are the only ones that I'm talking to. All right, that's my time. I hope there was something good that came out of this conversation, and I hope that y'all have a good night. Everybody got some jacked up stuff going on with them, men, women, all of us. This thing is not limited to a particular sex. It is a particular condition. And it has to do with lack of awareness, lack of self awareness. It has to do with lack of knowing what you want. And it has to do with having lack of having the experience with what you want. How many women have had a good man and now are single looking for one? There's not many. So when you are trying to determine if you found one, you don't even know you don't even know what you're looking for. So run this back and listen to the characteristics that I said were a good man. And then the guys that you're talking to, keep this list next to you on the phone and check for them. If they are there, stop lying to yourself, stop running from him, stop hiding from him, stop trying to ghost him because he this could be something real and good and you're afraid. Face it. Because if that is that man, he will hold you down. He will hold you through it. If that's the man. Or either he'll tell you, you're not healed, you're not ready for me. And that'll give you more information. Somebody who cares about you telling you something true that you can work on. Rather than somebody who wants to use you and just going to tell you what you want to hear so that they can get in your drawers and then ghost you, jack you up, traumatize you, whatever, because they don't know. Like everybody who's unhealed is not bad. But what unhealed means is that they will hurt you with their stuff without even knowing. Without even knowing. And sometimes those people actually look the same as good men. I'm an unhealed man who just handles my business. I didn't cheat on nobody, but I'm unhealed and I've accomplished some things. I have some respect. People look at that as a good man. No, that's an unhealed man who just ain't nobody got close enough for them to damage them with their shit yet. Or either nobody knows about it. Just think about that. I appreciate y'all. And thank you for joining me. And I'll be back. Might be back later on. Might be back tomorrow. I don't know. But the stalkers that follow me over from my other page, you're not going to stop me. No. Y'all have a good night.